Welcome back to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
So today we're getting into something that, well, it comes up a lot, doesn't it? Attracting a partner.
Absolutely. And specifically, we're looking at some source material that tackles this idea, maybe moving past some common cliches.
Exactly. We're looking at how you might attract someone you find, genuinely amazing, maybe what some might term a beautiful girlfriend, but we're broadening that.
Right, because the term make someone your girlfriend or boyfriend, that feels a bit off, doesn't it?
It really does. It implies control, maybe even manipulation.
Which isn't really how healthy connections form. So the focus here is more on attraction, real connection.
So our kind of mission for you, the listener, is to maybe pull out some actionable stuff from this, how to become someone who naturally attracts the kind of partner you're looking for.
And it's really about those inner qualities, isn't it? Less about tricks or lines, more about who you are. You might actually find some surprising insights here.
Yeah, hopefully things that go a bit deeper than the usual dating advice noise.
Okay, so first off, this idea of making versus attracting. The material we looked at really pushes back on that whole creation idea.
Yeah, it frames relationships as something that happens through attraction, not construction, if that makes sense.
Totally. It uses this nice analogy. Think about why you admire someone. Often it's their energy, right? Or their kindness, how they carry themselves.
Things that go way beyond just like physical appearance.
Exactly. That's often the real driver, that sort of magnetic quality. It's not just a checklist of looks.
Okay, so let's dig into that attraction idea. The text we're examining kind of breaks it down. Pillars, maybe. Key elements.
Yeah, you could call them pillars. And the first one that jumps out is confidence, but maybe not confidence in the way people sometimes think.
Right. Not the loud, bragging type of confidence.
Precisely. The text frames it more as, well, being comfortable in your own skin, really knowing your own value, kind of independent of what others think.
Like an internal validation thing.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. That self-acceptance, that sense of being grounded in yourself. Apparently, that's really noticeable and attractive.
It makes sense. People who seem comfortable with themselves just have a different kind of energy.
They do. It's about showing up as, the best version of yourself, but the real version, not some puffed up imitation.
Which leads really nicely into the second point, doesn't it? Authenticity.
Ah, yes. Being genuine.
Which sounds simple, but it can be hard. Trying to fit in or impress.
Oh, definitely. The source material really highlights this people connect with what's real. That includes, the little quirks, the imperfections, the stuff that makes you uniquely you.
So trying to project this flawless persona is actually counterproductive.
It seems so. It's exhausting, for one. But also it creates distance. Real connection happens when you let people see the real you, warts and all, so to speak.
It makes you wonder, how much are people actually letting their true selves show, especially early on?
That's a really good question. There's often a temptation to smooth over the edges, isn't there? But maybe the edges are actually the interesting parts.
Okay, so confidence grounded in self-acceptance, and then authenticity being real. What's the third element?
Respect and positivity. This one feels pretty fundamental.
Yeah, basic politeness, you'd hope. But it's more than just manners, right?
Much more. It's about genuinely valuing the other person, seeing them as a whole person.
And the text had a specific angle on this, I remember. About compliments.
It did, yeah. It suggested complimenting qualities beyond just appearance, like noticing their mind, their laughs, something they're passionate about.
Oh, okay, so it shows you're actually paying attention.
Yeah.
And appreciating them on a deeper level.
Exactly. It makes the other person feel seen, feel valued for who they are, not just what they look like. And generally, just having that positive, respectful energy makes you someone people want to be around.
Makes sense. Nobody wants to hang out with someone who's constantly negative or dismissive.
Right. It's about how you make others feel in your presence. Do you lift them up? Do you show genuine interest? That's incredibly attractive.
Okay, that's 3. Confidence, authenticity, respect, positivity. What's the fourth pillar?
Passion. Having interests, having things you care about.
This always feels like a big one. Does it have to be like changing the world level passion?
No, not necessarily. The source material puts it really nicely. Just having interests, having some depth makes you inherently more engaging.
So it could be anything. A hobby, a subject you love learning about, a skill you're developing.
Absolutely. It signals that you have a rich inner world,
Yeah.
That you've got things going on beyond just searching for a relationship.
And it gives you stuff to talk about, too, right? Leads to more exciting conversations.
Definitely. It shows drive, enthusiasm.
Yeah.
It shows you're engaged with life. And that energy, that spark is naturally appealing. People are drawn to people who are lit up about something.
So those are the 4 kind of core elements of attraction highlighted in the text. Confidence, authenticity, respect, passion.
Yeah, a pretty solid foundation, I'd say.
But beyond those sort of personal qualities, the text also talked about mindset, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, that was a crucial piece. Shifting the focus.
Away from actively, chasing relationships.
Exactly. The advice was more about redirecting that energy inward, towards your own personal growth, your own happiness, your own life.
So focus on being the best you can be and let relationships happen more organically.
That's the core idea, yeah. The source argues that when you're genuinely thriving as an individual, you feel good about yourself, you're pursuing your interests, you actually enjoy your own company, well, then those genuine connections just tend to arise more naturally. You're not coming from a place of lack or desperation.
It's like you're creating an environment where good things are more likely to happen rather than trying to force a specific outcome.
Perfectly put.
Yeah.
And the text emphasizes that the best relationships often come from those unexpected clicks, when you're just living your life, being yourself, and you connect with someone on that genuine level.
Yeah. So it's almost counterintuitive. By focusing less on finding someone and more on building a fulfilling life, you actually become more attractive.
That seems to be the central argument. It takes the pressure off, too.
Yeah, I can see that. It sounds healthier, less stressful.
Definitely. And this ties into another important point. The text raised how we think about beauty itself.
Ah, right. Redefining it, moving beyond just the physical.
Exactly. It's so easy to get stuck on very narrow, often unrealistic, superficial standards. Society kind of pushes that.
But the material we looked at really challenges that narrow view.
It does. It argues strongly that real beauty, the kind that truly attracts and holds someone, encompasses so much more.
Like what else falls under that umbrella?
Well, personality, obviously. Someone's energy, their vibe, how they make you feel when you're with them, their kindness, their humor, their intelligence.
So it's the whole package, the emotional and intellectual impact, too.
Absolutely. That overall effect someone has on you, that's a huge part of what makes them truly beautiful or attractive in a meaningful sense. It's not just skin deep.
That resonates. You can meet someone who maybe isn't conventionally stunning, but their personality just shines and they become incredibly attractive.
Precisely. And vice versa, right? Someone might tick all the conventional boxes, but if the personality or energy isn't there, it falls flat.
So it's about appreciating that broader spectrum of what makes a person compelling.
Yeah. And maybe asking yourself, what aspects of that broader definition of beauty really resonate with you? What truly draws you in beyond the surface?
That's a good self-reflection point.
Yeah.
Okay, so to kind of pull this all together, this deep dive suggests that attracting a partner, someone you find genuinely amazing, it's really not about learning tricks or pretending to be someone you're not.
No, it's almost the opposite. It's about cultivating those genuine inner qualities we talked about. The confidence that comes from self-acceptance, the courage to be authentic.
The respect you show others, the passion you have for your own life.
Exactly, and living a life that you yourself are actually excited about, focusing on that genuine connection, that realness.
It seems way more effective and probably more fulfilling in the long run than any kind of superficial game playing.
Couldn't agree more. It's about becoming the kind of person someone wants to connect with authentically.
So maybe the final thought for our listeners, something to mull over.
Yeah.
Thinking about these essentials, we discussed confidence, authenticity, respect, passion, the growth mindset. Which one of those feels most relevant to you right now?
That's interesting. Like, which one could you maybe focus on cultivating a bit more in your own life?
Exactly. Not even necessarily for finding a relationship, but just for your own well-being and growth.
Because ultimately, focusing on becoming the most vibrant, authentic, and engaged version of yourself, well, that's attractive in its own right, isn't it? Regardless of relationship outcomes.
Absolutely. It's about building that solid foundation within yourself first.
A great place to start and maybe finish.